Hi guys, you're very welcome back to the vlog. Today finds me in Glengarriff in West Cork. Hi guys, today finds me in Glengarriff in West Cork. It's actually quite late in the evening. Sun is dipping down over the clouds there. There's a little bit of light behind me. This vlog is gonna comprise of shots that I've taken over maybe 8, 10, 12 visits in the past. I'm here late on a Friday night. Hopefully tomorrow the weather is due to be very, very good and I get a chance to go around to Glengarriff hopefully later in the evening. Not too late. It's one of those particular places that you can't leave too late because the mountains on either side, the Caha Mountains there just at the start of the Barron Peninsula, they'll certainly affect the light maybe with the last hour of sunlight, but you will get golden colour if you're lucky not to have clouds in the mountains as there are now. You will get some beautiful light shining across the actual bay there between here and Granish Island. So I hope you'll stay with me. I'll walk you around and show you different places to shoot here. Places like the Blue Pool. Again, it depends on the boats coming in and out. And anytime you come to call down, every time I come down here, something different every time. If you've got seals on the rocks, they're not exactly massively photogenic, but again, an opportunity to see them and shoot them. Also, I won't be going out to Granish Island. It's just something that doesn't attract me at all, to be honest. But I do love the light that comes into the bay here, especially late evening and maybe early morning. I'll try and get up tomorrow morning and see how we go. Stay with me. Talk to you in a minute. Take care. Okay guys, I've come down to the Blue Pool. It's one of the famous places here in Glengarriff. I'm actually going to spin you right around as fast as I can. No, it didn't work. Come on lads, go for it. And you can just see the ferry for Granish coming in, and it's going to collect, well, drop off the lads that have been out there and collect the next group for the Granish Island. I'm not sure now, it's late enough, it's 5:30, coming out in probably the better time here. Again, not a great shot from here. What I would be trying to do though is get the use the vegetation, and I'm not sure how that's going for us there now, lads. Okay, yeah, use the vegetation as a framing device. Now the white van up there is not helping this out, and also neither is all the rock. So I took 1 or 2 shots of it going in. I was hoping to maybe catch it coming in. Well, I wasn't able to make it back fast enough when I saw the ferry. So what I'm going to try and do here is try and try and get a frame if I can. I haven't had much of a time now to be able to set this up. I'm really shooting ad hoc here. Again, maybe if I can frame it here. Oops. Beautiful light there coming on that ferry now, fantastic light. And I framed it within the actual trees. I don't know whether you're still with me or you're not, because the camera is after being dislodged there by my strap on my camera. Anyway, we'll come back to me. Right, okay, sorry about all that now. That all happened so quickly there. And a beautiful light coming in. We're about probably 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours before sunset. The one thing I would say here in Glengarriff is that you can't leave it for the last half an hour. I kind of mentioned that earlier. You gotta do something really, probably an hour and a half to maybe half an hour before, maybe even further, maybe 2 hours to maybe an hour before sunset, because that sun drops in over the Caha Mountains there on the Barra Peninsula, and then you really have no quality of light down here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk out. I'm going to find different parts of this particular, it's really hard to describe what it is. It's almost like an area of vegetation on the coastline within the actual greater harbour of Glengarriff. And in fairness to them, as I've said earlier, they put in these fantastic pathways. I'm giving you a look at those there now. They're only in within the last year, giving you great access. And let's be honest, yeah, you're up high, you're down low. They're not easy to travel on, in the sense that you need to be, I wouldn't say very fit, but relatively fit. You know, there's some steep climbs there, but you get some great views of the harbour and the greater bay area. And later in the evening, as I'm hoping will happen, it seems to be the case, the sea will tend to get calmer, and you'll get more reflections on the boats. You'll use some of the vegetation to try and frame the overhanging trees and bushes, to frame boats, to frame seals if you're lucky on rocks. There's some yachts out there, whatever. So I'm going to head off and do some of that now, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, take care. between the trees over, I'm struggling to pick it out here now. You can actually see the harbour over there, the pier, and the blue and white boat. Not very photogenic, but in the vegetation between there and here, there are great walkways with, again, lots of viewing points and areas to shoot maybe the boats that are out at sea. I'm going to show you some shots as well too in a minute of some of these yachts or other yachts that I took on other visits here, that maybe I was fortunate enough that the tide was actually I gotta get this right. I suppose the tide is coming in if they're facing out, and the tide is going out if they're facing in. If somebody wants to correct me on that one, by all means do. My nautical information now wouldn't be outstanding. Let's call a spade a spade. But anyway, beautiful, beautiful vista here, and yet limited. Every single one of them are, because of the trees, and though they've cut down quite a few trees, you can see remnants of the actual trees here. What did they call those in Lord of the Ring? The faggots of wood. And again, just even underneath me, large chunks that they had cut, and again quite a few of them over this side here, lads. Lots of these were growing extremely wild, and even just in this area here, it seems that there are quite a few trees gone missing. Again, so steep and so look at the slope there and the bushes down along. Just that particular slope is, yeah, all the way down into the sea. So it's very unpredictable type of landscape, but it'll lead for even more unpredictable types of shots, I believe. Okay, so I've shown you some of the photographs there. You might ask what lens and camera am I using? Well, I use Sony. I'm using probably the 24-105. At times I may use the 100-400 or the 70-200, but I think the 24-105 gives me a certain leeway that I'm able to go in tighter, but also maybe get a slightly bigger vista. There's no way I'll need a 16-35 here. We're going to just get predominantly trees, that's all really. So yeah, probably a 24-105, 70-200 if needed, and yeah, the light is just beginning to get just right now. Hopefully I'll show you a few shots after all that talk. I have come to another location here, and I'm further down the path, and no luck here. All the boats are facing out as the tide is going out, so I'm not having any luck. But if I just look a different angle, I have a little yacht inside here, in almost like a lagoon area, really, surrounded by trees and tropical plants, etc. Something that this area is very famous for, and there's not a tree to be found on the Berry Peninsula, only a short distance away. I'm competing at the moment here with a gang of lads who are passing. No, you're grand. There's fabulous light coming in there now at the moment, and as you can see, I'm going to try and find a location that I'd much prefer to shoot this boat head on, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to. As you can see, it's absolute muck there. The idea really would probably be to get to that second rock over there. I'll go back up the walkway and see if I can shoot over the bollards down at the front of it, but I'm not sure if I'll get it all. I'll try that. Failing that, I'll walk down here onto these rocks and try and shoot it. I'm looking for separation, lads. I have brought a tripod. I'm shooting these by hand, thanks be to God. I brought a tripod, but I only bring these tripods around just as a kind of a weight exercise, really, you know. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. If I didn't have the tripod, I would surely need it. Look at that now. That actually is working out very well. I might even take a few shots of that and I'll go back up and I'll post if I can get any shots on the pathway back down, but I fear it's one of those areas that I'm not going to be able to get into, and I'm not going to take a risk with a drone. Truth be told, it's just too much for just a shot. I'm not sure that the drone would be able to handle it anyway. Lots of vegetation here. The last thing I want now is to find a drone in the sea there, though there's no wind at the moment. Anyway, look, I'll post up any shots that I get of it, but it just seems to be a little bit of a gem. What a pity it's actually facing in the way. Talk to you in a minute. Okay guys, I'm back to you on this one again, and still more children to annoy me. I've got an angle on this particular yacht that can give me a kind of a beautiful side light running along its right hand side, and it's lovely, it's nicely framed. I'll try and zoom in, give you an idea exactly what I'm looking at, and that's roughly the framing. I'll show you the shot in the minute. Okay, I've come across another super location, a viewpoint with just a beautiful picnic area. Looks like something that's fairly durable and should last. Let's hope it does. Again, nothing really happening here today. A little pathway down there, and maybe I'll be able to use that. I'm going to show you some shots that I actually took from here a few weeks back. This is September 2023. I'll hopefully be able to show you shots that I took in August, mid-August, about a month ago, and the boats were facing in. Also beautiful like that evening. Okay guys, I've come to another location. The sun seems to have popped in for a second behind a cloud. This particular location, one of maybe 10 or 15 with fantastic seating and a lovely vista. It's got this tree with all these interesting and gnarled and twisted branches overhanging, and that's to the left, so anything there isn't going to be seen, but there is a gap looking out to the right. yeah, not the most attractive scene today. I was here maybe about a month ago and I got a better shot than this, so I think I might put that up. Lots of problems with this particular shot. The sea isn't calm enough for me at the minute. There's a bit of a breeze there. Now often in the Beara Peninsula you could get phenomenal winds, but a lot of the time here in Glengarriff, at this hour, maybe an hour before sunset, it tends to calm and you get a lot of reflections. What you're trying to do then is you're trying to pick an interesting boat that has lovely side light, and none of them have it there because that cloud is basically covering the sun, and also hopefully getting reflections as well too. Okay, I've moved over closer to the Eccles Hotel from the pier, and they've put in recently, as part of all these renovations, yet the largest viewing area. It's along the road front. They put in some beautiful hanging baskets, and I know when I was here earlier last month, they were watering the locals were watering some of the baskets, so they really do look after them and take care of them. I was using some of the flowers which were in probably a better shape. We've had a very good week weather-wise, and they're beginning to wither, but the last time I was here I was able to use them as a foreground and the light shining on some of the boats outside as my main focal point. I'm going to show you some of those shots in a minute. I'm not going to show them to you now. Unfortunately, there is a bit of a side effect, and we have here, well, your guess is as good as mine. I'm sure there's some reason that they're in there, but I don't even know what they are. Large plastic sacks of rope mussels. Sorry, it's rope mussels, that's what they are. Okay, not sure whether that's by design they're there or whether they're going to be used or what. Never heard of them before, but they are a bit of an eyesore, and certainly photographically they're not going to help you whatsoever. To get better shots, best off head down further, nearer to the actual Eccles Hotel. I'm not going to go down there now, to be honest. You're basically looking at this particular vista, but I will put up some shots that we have taken there in the past, and you've seen some drone footage from that particular angle. Here at the end of the pier, the light isn't fantastic still. I'd be expecting better. It might develop. Yeah, I'm on the, as I say, the west or the eastern side of the actual bay. I might head over to the western side and see if I can pick up any shots over there. Separation, very hard to separate any of them. All these boats here are very, very tight together, so pointless taking any shots there. We've one in the distance on its own, possibly too far away. This boat here might be the only one. Again, I'm not quite sure if I can get there, this one here. But like, it's not the most attractive of boats, to be honest, and not even here. And the ferry is even looking a little bit better. Again, it's just lying near enough to between two islands. Yeah, nothing really stand out, lads. Looking over here, not from here, but the fact that they're facing in, and this particular trawler is an interesting trawler, or somewhat interesting. I might just head back, and again, looking from the pier, this is where your area of vegetation, where we were shooting yesterday, and again now my finger is the camera's beginning to focus on my finger. There's that yacht that I was getting beautiful light on, facing the wrong direction albeit, but yeah, and the trees and the vegetation that's unique here in Glengarriff. But I'm not seeing anything. Again now I'm looking at the water here, less, because it's more open water, less reflections. Look, I'll stop whinging. I'll go on and try and take a shot or two. I definitely at this hour of the day would be using a tripod, so at least the tripod is coming in handy. Do you know, even the boat isn't that attractive, but the actual light, the colouring in the cloud here, and the ferry itself seems about as good as I'll probably get this morning. If I waited around a little later, maybe the light would get better. Well, it definitely will get better, but maybe one or two other boats will look pretty better. Look, even here now the reflections are going, so I'm going to drop this and get out the camera and take a shot as soon as I can. Well, that's it folks from Glengarriff. Thank you very much for joining me. Beautiful place to shoot, especially late evening, early morning. And yeah, there's a calmness within the water here that you won't find elsewhere. It's protected, you know, it's part of Bantry Bay, but it's protected from with so many islands, particularly Granish Island, certainly protecting the harbour area there, and the lovely little small islands dotted around the actual harbour make for very photographic shots, and thankfully the yachts and the boats as well add to it. Anyway, till the next time, talk to you soon. If you liked what you saw here, please give me a like. It helps develop the channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, well, why not do so and join me for future vlogs. Till the next time, take care, see you then.